Harassment in the United Kingdom is not simply a matter of bad manners or rudeness. It's a legal concept with far-reaching implications, designed to protect individuals from targeted abuse, intimidation, and distress. At first glance, it might seem straightforward. Unwanted behaviour that causes alarm or upset is considered harassment. But in reality, the laws are nuanced, the definitions matter, and the line between genuine protection and perceived overreach is a topic of lively national debate. Let's start with the basics. What exactly is harassment under UK law? The backbone of this legal framework is the Protection from Harassment Act 1997. This piece of legislation was introduced to address serious concerns about stalking, bullying, and repeated intimidation, whether those acts happen in person, at work, or increasingly, online. Under this Act, harassment is defined as a course of conduct involving repeated unwanted actions that cause someone alarm or distress. This could be threatening messages, persistent unwanted contact, targeted abuse on social media, or even bullying behaviour at work. The key phrase here is course of conduct. The behaviour must happen at least twice for the law to apply, establishing a pattern rather than a single incident. However, the law recognises that sometimes a single act can be so severe, so threatening, that it warrants intervention. If someone receives a menacing threat, for example, even one incident may be enough for the authorities to act. This flexibility is designed to ensure the law serves its protective purpose without missing genuinely harmful cases. Harassment doesn't just happen in public spaces or online, it can also occur in the workplace. Here, the Equality Act 2010 comes into play. This act places a duty on employers to prevent and address harassment, especially when it relates to protected characteristics such as race, sex, disability, religion, age, or sexual orientation. If an employee is repeatedly subjected to unwanted conduct because of one of these characteristics, both criminal and civil remedies may be available. Employers must take these complaints seriously, investigate thoroughly, and ensure that their workplaces are safe for everyone. But what does harassment look like in everyday life? It might be a neighbour sending you threatening letters, a colleague repeatedly mocking you for your beliefs, or someone bombarding your social media accounts with abusive messages. It could also be more subtle, persistent unwanted attention, isolating behaviour, or exclusion designed to humiliate. The law is intentionally broad to capture various forms of misconduct, whether overt or disguised. Despite these protections, not everyone agrees on where the line should be drawn. Critics argue that the law has, at times, been stretched too far. There have been cases where people have faced investigation for jokes, banter, or heated one-off arguments. Some worry that this risks chilling free speech, stifling open debate, and criminalising ordinary social interactions. For example, could a single sarcastic comment at work lead to a harassment claim? Supporters of the law counter by emphasising the importance of protecting vulnerable individuals from sustained abuse and intimidation. They argue that, without strong legal safeguards, many victims would be left without recourse, suffering in silence. This tension between protection and overreach is especially pronounced in the digital age. Online platforms make it easy for harmful behaviour to escalate quickly. Harassment can be relentless, public, and difficult to escape. At the same time, the informality of online communication means that jokes, disagreements, and misunderstandings can easily be misinterpreted. The law is still catching up with these new realities, and courts are often called upon to decide whether a series of tweets or messages crosses the line from annoyance to legal harassment. So, how do authorities determine what counts as harassment? Context is everything. The courts consider the nature of the conduct, the relationship between the parties, and the impact on the victim. Was the behaviour repeated? Was it intended to cause distress? Did it actually cause alarm, humiliation, or emotional harm? The answers to these questions are rarely straightforward and often depend on the details of each case. For individuals who believe they are being harassed, there are clear steps to take. The first is to keep a record of each incident. Dates, times, details, and any evidence such as messages or witness statements. Reporting the behaviour to the police or to an employer is the next step. Authorities will assess whether the conduct meets the legal threshold, and, if so, may pursue criminal charges or civil remedies like restraining orders. In the workplace, employers are obligated to investigate complaints and take appropriate action, which can include disciplinary measures, mediation, or changes to workplace policies. What about those who feel the law has been applied unfairly? There are safeguards in place. The courts must balance the right to protection with the right to free speech and fair process. Not every unpleasant interaction or offensive comment amounts to harassment. The behaviour must be serious, repeated, and have a real impact on the victim's well-being. Judges weigh the evidence carefully, considering both the intent and the effect of the conduct. Ultimately, harassment laws in the UK are about drawing a clear boundary between acceptable and unacceptable behaviour. They signal that intimidation, bullying, and targeted abuse are not just social wrongs, they are legal offences, with real consequences. Whether in the workplace, on the street, or online, individuals have the right to feel safe and respected. Yet, the debate continues. Some ask whether the current laws go too far, catching people in the net for minor infractions or moments of bad judgment. Others point to the ongoing need for strong protections, especially for those who are most vulnerable to abuse. The challenge is to strike a balance, ensuring that victims are protected, genuine cases are addressed, and everyday life is not unduly policed. In navigating this complex terrain, it's important to remember that the goal of harassment law is not to punish harmless jokes or disagreements, but to stop sustained, harmful conduct that undermines people's safety and dignity. The law is a tool for justice, but like all tools, it must be used wisely and fairly. So next time you hear the word harassment in the UK, remember, it's not just a matter of etiquette or hurt feelings. It's a serious legal concept, shaped by decades of debate, designed to protect individuals from genuine harm and constantly evolving to meet the challenges of modern society. Whether you see it as protection or overreach, it's a topic worth understanding, discussing, and debating, because the line between safety and freedom affects everyone.